And good morning, Unity.
Morning.
Yay. And good morning to everybody in the sanctuary, and good morning to everybody out in live stream lending. I guess it would be nice if I said, I am Reverend Aubrey Lynn, and I'm the spiritual leader of, where were we again?
Unity Spiritual
Unity Spiritual Center in Sheboygan. Well, I didn't know which way I was going to that, yeah. So, yes, I am. I'm actually the leader here. It's scary, I know. So how is everybody today? Good. Again, this week with all of the things that were going on with mass shootings and things, and my prayer partner, Stephen, actually called in the middle of a minor meltdown. And he said to me, let me send you the blog from Reverend Jim. Remember, Reverend Jim came and did our board regrouping, and we did the board thing for all of our region here. And anyhow, he sent me this, and I pulled some pieces from it to share with you because I thought it was pretty profound. And it starts out, a mass shooting occurs, and we are shocked. The argument begins. They're the same arguments as before. After a few weeks, they settle down for the most part. Little, if anything, changes. And then it says, a mass shooting occurs, we're shocked. The argument begins. They're the same arguments as before. After a few weeks, they settle down for the most part. Little, if anything, changes. And what Jim is telling us is these patterns keep repeating, not just in terms of guns, but with immigration, with healthcare policies, taxes, and so on and so on. And anyone in a relationship with an addictive, codependent aspect will feel the same pattern. So what Jim is telling us in this blog, and I would really encourage you guys to sign up for this blog because it's always profound with Dr. Jim. And he's saying that we're becoming addicted. We're becoming addicted to the reality. Drugs is an addiction, and overeating is an addiction, and there's all these addictions, and now shooting people is an addiction, and we're allowing ourselves to become complacent and numb by it. Yeah, we care about our kids that are dying from drugs, but yeah, well, another kid died. So the pattern then, he says that it's familiar, and the violence and the apology and the promise to change repeats. And he says again and again, we expect it to resolve, but nothing happens. But the emotional self, and that's us, is having a different struggle with our own sense of fear and struggling to find a way to control the behaviors of others, and we don't know how to do that, and we can't do that. So in a way of self-protection, what he's telling us is that we're becoming numb and complacent, and we can't do that. Excuse me. So it is with our gun issue, he says. It's really a debate because there's no intention on any side to truly listen. There's an unwillingness to deeply explore the issues at hand. Each side seeks a higher ground to force the other side into compliance, and neither being fully successful. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Yeah. So he's saying then, I'm just picking this out a little bit. The courage is needed to accept our accountability and to follow the acceptance with that deep inner work from our consciousness, from the fear to compassion of what it is that we're required to do. And we've talked about this, and not we, but we have out there together. We sit and talk, prayer circle, we talk about this. But we keep bringing forth that the only thing on this level, this moment level, right here, right now, is that kindness within us, that love within us. as we share together here, as we share with our people live streaming with us, and when we leave here. When we leave here, how do we share just within our own environment, and how important that is for us to continue to do that. And part of the Earth Day thing, what I was thinking about is that the waging wars, whatever they may be, externally and internally, the raging wars must stop. And basically, Dr. Jim is saying that we need to go within and put those out. Each time I ask you, are you willing to let go of another grudge that you're holding? Are you willing to let go of that word hate? Are you willing to, even if you don't speak to the person that you have an issue with, are you willing to sit down and write a letter to them? And let it out? Are you willing to free yourself up enough that the energy that each one of us puts forth can begin to heal our planet? Because this issue is part of Earth Day, because we're destroying our planet with war, all kinds of war. You know, Dr. Fauci said this morning that the gun situation is a health issue. It's a health issue. And that made a lot of sense to me. So Leo tells us this: if you want to awaken all humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering of the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give is that of your own transformation. So I just wanted to bring that with you. You know, it's from Dr. Jim Lockhart, and I think it was a valuable gift that my prayer partner shared with me yesterday, so that because I said to him, how do I speak to my congregation? What do I say again about the senselessness? I don't know the words, and so thank you, Dr. Jim, for giving the words to us. So, and with that, let us open with our opening song and stand and do Trust the Wind. And let's trust it. Let's trust nature, Mother Nature, with us.
Inside my head, it's telling me I'm gonna be alright. It keeps saying, let yourself be led where you are led. Don't hold back, don't put up a fight. It tells me trust the wind, breathe the air. There's a place you're meant to be, and you're already there. Open up your heart and let life in. Know that you can always trust the wind. When the world starts doing things that I don't understand, and I search my soul to find a reason why, in the dark night I feel somebody take my hand and tell me you don't even have to try. For you can trust the wind, breathe the air, and know that there are helping hands around you everywhere. Open up your heart and let life in. Know that you can always trust the wind. Dreams have wings. taught us every day. They hear our prayers, they know the way. I'm gonna trust the wind, breathe the air. Let it take me on its wings and carry me somewhere. I'll open up my heart and let life in. And know wherever breezes blow, wherever winding rivers flow, going where I need to go. I can trust the
Thank you. And I just love the way the music shows itself up without any coordination between myself and Jules, and she had no idea what I was opening with today. So God bless you for the instincts that Spirit is giving with you. And welcome to Sherry and Mark. We're so happy to see you. It's nice to know you're missed, right? Okay. So, and that just concurs what our vision is, a spiritual community of love, peace, and acceptance, creating an inclusive spiritual community through fellowship, service, and community outreach. And thanks for joining with me. When I forget, you can just come on. You know how it goes. I'd like to. Okay, so my thing says Dave Polly, but I think it's Tom, right? Tom is speaking this morning? Yes. Okay, so I'd like to ask Tom Kleiber to come and do the daily word and lighting the Christ candle and lighting the flames of faith for me. Tom.
Thank you, Reverend Augerlin. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
The daily word for today in honor of Earth Day coming up is protect. I bless the earth with love and care. I am a caretaker of my beloved home, planet Earth. Just as I want my living space, my body, and my loved ones cared for and protected, I pray for and work to protect the earth. The book of Genesis proclaims humankind was given dominion over the fish, birds, and living things of the earth. I accept this authority and use it wisely. I am mindful of the steps I can take to support a healthy and vibrant planet. Recycling, opting for environmentally safe products, and working to eliminate litter and contamination help keep waterways, air, and environments safe for all. In my spiritual practice, I bless and give thanks in honor of the earth and for all those who share the call for its protection. In Genesis 8:22, as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Can we light the Christ candle today as a reminder that Christ's light is within us, and we can use it to do all the things we need to do to keep our environment as safe and pure as possible, and be grateful for all that we've been given in our lifetime.
And as we begin the flames of faith candle lighting, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of light, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experiences, which we honor here today. As Tom lights the first candle, we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God at the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We definitely light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practices of universal spiritual principles. And the last candle that we light a candle for all of those who are yet unaware of the power and the presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we're holding for them at this center, and for all religions unnamed in this ceremony. And if you would join us for our response.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. I'm from Emmanuel and follow my footsteps. Sparkling Canada, the dying deserts, and all around me, a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that river highway, I saw me that endless skyway. I saw me rolling those golden valleys. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. As the sun was shining and I was going, and the wind is waving and the dust clouds rolling, the cloud was singing, our voice was saying. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, right in with that Earth Day, right? So April 22nd, 2020 marked the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. How many of you knew that? Yeah, some of you, good. Well, I have to be really honest, I didn't. But right now, so when people are who are able or practicing social distances, it can be strange to think of 100,000 people, right, in New York marching and picnicking on Fifth Avenue to celebrate the environment, maybe next year. Yet at the moment, the question about the role of government, communities, future of our planet has come to, I believe, well worth returning to the first Earth Day. Now, pay attention, because if you're ever on Jeopardy, you will have winning information here. Being with Tibby in New York for the weekend, this is Jeopardy. So pay attention. Earth Day was a collaboration between government and citizens. Now listen to this. Proposed in 1969 by a Wisconsin senator, Gaylord Nelson. Gaylord Nelson Earth Day events were organized naturally by a group of young activists and local volunteers. And did you know about Gaylord now? Any of you? Oh, good. Well, I wasn't here then. Okay. So anyhow, so New York Mayor John B. Lindsay, who had created the nation's first municipal environment protection administration in New York in 1968, closed Fifth Avenue to cars and delivered an impassioned speech. Some, as always, some view the festivals as bad for business or a distraction from other issues, yet ultimately, support for Earth Day exceeded expectations and helped grow. By the end of 1970, the Nixon administration established the Environmental Protection Agency, passed the Clean Air Act. And because it fell on a school day, that was the beginning of whole classes of students actually planting flowers and trees. They swept public spaces and recycled and protested pollution. Okay, so now for $1 million, who was the man who named Earth Day? Earth Day. Anybody know?
Kissinger.
Julie.
Yes.
There's one in every crowd. Julian Conan. Got that? Julian Conan was the ad man who named Earth Day because it rhymed with birthday. So the birth of our Earth. Yeah. So. Okay. Got that? All right. So let's go back even further in time. It's written in Genesis 1, verse 12. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seeds of every kind and trees of every kind, bearing fruit with seeds in them. And God saw that it was good. Yes, it was good. But the big question is, are we who live on this planet keeping it good? I realize that I'm only one person, but I am a caretaker of the earth. But I make a difference. And you make a difference. Every time I walk from my bathroom with my 2 little dried out plastic contact lenses and recycle them, I am making a difference. Now you may say, well, that's so small, but look how many fish won't be eating my contact lenses, right? And all the years that I didn't know that they should have been recycled, nobody ever told me. But the minute you find out something, you can, God bless you, you can change. You can absolutely change. So Unity's first principle states that there is only one presence, one power pervading the entire universe. Unity Worldwide Ministries is committed to embodying this principle and honoring our oneness with Mother Earth herself. So recognizes that we live in this web of interconnectedness. And you know, I really think that is one of the most important things that we need to bring into our consciousness. Recognizing that we live in a web of interconnectedness. I even like that word for some reason. I love words, by the way. And our actions affect the whole world. And endeavor to touch the earth lightly with reverence. So I encourage each one of you, and I encourage myself, to keep doing the same, understanding that web of interconnectedness. So each Earth Day has a different theme, and I'm sure that my intelligent ones here all know that. So this year it's Restore Our Earth. And it's about reducing our environmental footprint and fixing the damage we've already done. And I know so many of you in here are already a part of that. And Earth Day is time to celebrate the beautiful God-given planet that we live on. This is our home. This is what we have in common. In common with majestic mountains, beautiful rivers and lakes and seas, our beautiful sun and moon and the stars. Skies are blue, rock, soil, sand, minerals, plants, trees, vegetation, animals, and humanity all create what we call this playground of life. This is our playground. This is where we get to be human, fortunately or unfortunately. But we all have higher consciousness and we grow above some of that. But how do we take care of this? How do we take care of the environment, this planet? Do we even care? My guess in this very room, I know each of you, I know your core values because they're my core values. So I know that the answer is yes. So funny, I was talking to Susan on the phone and she called in the middle when I was writing this. And she says, oh, well, let me go out on my bumper sticker because there's a thing on there from Chief Seattle. We must remember the earth doesn't belong to us. We belong to the earth. And I said, I already have that in here. But thank you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. So we are the caretakers. Mother Earth is alive. It has life. And, we go to the moon and we go to Mars because we're looking for life. Well, we have life right here. I mean, I'm a personal person who thinks we should spend the money on education and feeding children, but that's a whole other talk that doesn't work here. So anyhow, but we're the caretakers. We are the caretakers, and we must care for Mother Earth. We must care for her and respect her and protect her. So what do you feel about our planet? What do you think? Well, Mother Teresa says, I'm only angry when I see waste. When I see people throwing away things we could use. I was looking through things and saw that, and I started to laugh because, as you know, I was in New York for a week with my friend Tibby, my best friend Tibby, and she and her son got into several, not arguments, but conversations about paper towels. So if Tibby uses a sheet of paper towel, first she cuts it in half in case she doesn't need the whole sheet. Well, now I've let her know that now they make them so you can do that. And Tyson goes, okay, Mom, that's fine, but if it's dirty, it needs to go in the garbage. It could get one more use. And this went on, and it was humorous and annoying at some point. And when she recycles, I rinse my stuff out and throw them in the recycle, but when Tibby recycles, she washes them. And she washes the caps and the lids and she lets them drain. And then she puts them in the recycling thing. But not only that, to save space, she makes sure that they're organized so that you can get more in and you don't waste the bags. And so when I'm thinking this, Mother Teresa says, I only feel angry when I see waste, when I see people throwing away things we can use. And I thought of my old mother-in-law, God rest her soul, that she was rich, very rich. And on her counter, she had piles of, when you buy meat in that little square things, well, she washed all those. And then there was a pile of all the aluminum foil she used. And then there was a pile of all the string. Then there was a pile of all the rubber bands. So I think there's a point where we need balance. I mean, I see the waste, but if I just tell my daughter, when you go to Nanny's, eat the cold cuts underneath because Nanny always puts the old ones on top to get rid of them. So don't eat from the top. so there's a point. But Alyssa, let me ask you, what are things, and you can yell out, what are things that totally tick you off about the care of our earth that you see? What are things?
Littering along the streets.
Littering along the streets.
All the plastic that ends up in the ocean.
The stuff that gets into the ocean, absolutely. What else? Anything really tick you off?
Cutting down trees.
Cutting down trees, absolutely, right. Construction. And when I moved here, I was very impressed where I moved because I found out that they had to plant X amount of trees per how many units there were. And I I thought, wow, Wisconsin is really sharp, great. I thought that was really great. Now, there's a lot of things that go on out there. One time in California, many years ago, I pulled into a parking lot and this man over in this car opened his car and he threw out, let's just say, McDonald's bags and stuff and emptied an ashtray. And I wasn't even like activist at that point. And I got stomping over there and I said, excuse me, sir, what is wrong with you? I said, is that how you teach your children to care for Earth? And he did apologize and pick him up. So yeah, so there's things out there that we see. So we say, well, I don't know how to do this much for climate control, but I know how to do this much not to put a piece of paper on the ground. And that's what I'm talking about here. You see, the story of creation, in the beginning, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. But what about the creation of life in our beginning? So in our beginning, it was just a man and a woman creating life? Or is it the activity of creation begins with the Spirit of God pouring into the individual consciousness as love? What is the beginning of the creation of our life? So that divine love then from God pours from our consciousness into our mind, and it brings the idea of love and oneness, and it comes forward in creation as the next generation. Think about that. We think about, getting married, having babies, and all the things we do. But the activity of creation begins with the Spirit of God pouring into the individual. Is that not beautiful? And when you think of the fact that, when the lady says to the man, I'm pregnant, it gives it a whole new, beautiful meaning. A new meaning. So our planet was created out of God's love. We were created out of God's love. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I see us then walking on love, which is the earth, walking on love with love, which is us. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So we've come a long way, right? We really have. But we have a long way to go. In the old days, everything was the compost pile and it was made and it went back into the earth. And then we got all modern and we didn't do that. And we had all these laws from Condos Association and we couldn't put our clotheslines up anymore and we couldn't do this and couldn't do that. And now we've gotten back the other way and balance. Balance. Everything in our life needs balance, and planet Earth needs balance. All of the stars and the planets and the galaxies, God has them all in balance, and we're disrupting. Not we, us, we, humanity, are disrupting that balance. So let's go to some small things. So you don't have to be rich and live in the best neighborhood to have a decent property. You just need to care. The earth is destroyed by one piece of land to the next. Junk in yards, rusting, rotting, garbage blowing around, a broken gate. You get the picture, right? So I get that the Jones family can't afford new siding. I get that. I understand it. I respect it. But they don't have a nail to put in the gate to fix it. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't get your neighbors together or your family together to take down that rusted swing set that's been there for 10 years unused. You can't have a clear out day in spring like we do here. We come and we all get together on a Saturday and we rake and we weed and put it back together. See, the lack of caring for the planet, the lack of caring and the ignorance is what is hurting us. And war. Talk about war. It destroys our planet. Everything we're putting in there with bombs and blowing up and shooting, all of that is destroying our environment. You know, I know a couple of you in here, I didn't ask to use your names, so I won't, but you know, a couple of you go walking and you actually take trash bags with you and you pick up garbage. I commend you. I'm amazed. I'm amazed at that. The point is there's so many little things that we can do to make a difference. I have to clean out my purse every 3 or 4 weeks because I stick in a candy wrapper. I stick in a tissue. I stick in a toothpick. I stick in whatever. Oh, can't put that on it. And there's no way to. So all of a sudden you look at your purse and you go, you guys don't get this. But you look at your purse and you go, oh my God, I got to clean this out. But isn't it better in my purse than on the ground? Right? Have you ever gotten a grocery cart and it's all full of somebody's grocery list and the whole papers are all, you know. So in the old days, I would go get a new cart. Now I clean it out. I just do this thing and clean it out and go, yeah, I clean it out. One little step after another makes a difference. Margaret Mead tells us that never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. And she says it's the only thing that can. People caring. But how do we educate the non-caring? How do we do that? Well, this year together as Team Unity, we can volunteer for Rock the Block for Habitat for Humanity. I know some of you have done that in the past. And we'll be in Franklin Park this year, and I'll have a date soon. Yeah, let's get our Unity t-shirts on and let's get out there and help these people who can't help themselves at the moment. And what about time spent among trees outside? How many of you talk to your houseplants? Oh, good, yeah. And see, the rest of us, we're not crazy. I talk to and when they have little babies, I touch, oh, you got a little baby, that's so beautiful. I do. And when I have to trim them, I apologize because it's a living thing. It's part of planet Earth. It's part of her. So show your children, and of course we don't have little ones in here, but you have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and you have great nieces and great nephews and all of that good stuff. Show them the beauty of trees, their age. Speak about the roots, the foundation, what foundation means, not only for trees, but for earth, for us. You know, tell them about sustaining our world and teach them to hug a tree. Teach them to hug a tree. It's not just hippies who hug trees. People who love trees hug trees. How many of you have ever hugged a tree? Lots of you. Look at that. Okay. Plant gardens, grow vegetables. I can't wait. I was already thinking about Tom and Mary Ellen's garden. I was thinking about it the other day, looking at produce, and I said, oh, how long is it for those zucchinis come in? and share, because they share. They come in with bags, and this is for you, and this is for you, and this is for you, and it's really great. So let children touch the earth, feel it, smell it, experience. And next year, how about every one of you planting a tree, maybe just this big, for Earth Day? Then I had another idea. Each time a baby's born in your family, plant a tree and name it that. And each time someone passes, plant a tree so that they're always growing in your heart. See, there's so much in consciousness that we can do that supports Mother Earth, that supports our consciousness. The energy that we put out there is so beautiful, so loving. Plant seeds in your consciousness, plant seeds in your garden. One things that I dislike so much about now living in the condo world is I don't have a garden. But those of you who've been in my house, you see I decorate with plants. They're all over the place. And Annie, they're doing good. Okay, so, oh my God. Progress is impossible without change. And those that you can't change their mind can't change anything. So how do we work with that? You've heard me say this so many times, the future is our children. If we teach our children at a young age, we won't have to change their minds because their minds are the future. They will make the progress that we need to sustain our world. So humanity has yet to find Mother Earth, how it really came into existence, how everything is so balanced. That's that infinite intelligence, whatever we choose to call it. The fascinating thing is this. Mother Earth has given us sufficient resources to survive and evolve. Everything has seeds. Think about every time you cut open a piece of fruit and you scrape out the seeds or you pick out the seeds. Think about all the earth, and if we could plant that, I mean, there would be no starvation in the whole world. So be it a small bug or a huge giant elephant, our earth is more sufficient resources to nurture every life. But unfortunately, human beings have a lack of caring, and ignorance and greed has set up the dysfunction of our earth. So I have today, or Jules has today rather, we have, Unity has sent us a Earth Care Covenant from Unity, which we'll pass around. If you read it and want to sign it. So again, I give you the words of Chief Seattle. The earth does not belong to man. Do we get that? The earth doesn't belong to us. Man belongs to the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. And that's that interconnectedness. Each one of us is a strand, and we weave into this tapestry called life. Whatever he does in that web, whatever we do, whatever I do in that web, we do to ourselves. So we the people must save the planet Earth, and we can, one person at a time. One more person caring today than yesterday. One corporation at a time. One partisan vote at a time. We the people. God bless our world, and let the earth rejoice from our love. So as we move into thoughts about this, I ask you, if you're comfortable, to just close your eyes and think about pictures that you've seen from afar of Mother Earth, where you don't see the people, you don't see the houses, you don't see the corruption, you don't see the hurt, feel no pain. And if you were to speak to Mother Earth, what would you say? And as you zoom in and Earth becomes the reality with the people and the houses and trees, what do you commit to yourself first and to the planet second? To be a part of the sustainability of this beautiful home that God gave us. And know with me now, the abundance of God is all around us. In this season of spring, leaves are sprouting on trees. Flowers are blooming again. Everything opens up. Everything comes alive. And in this day, I commit deeper and deeper to heal that which is within me that could pollute Mother Earth with the negativity, dislike, anger, and release it so that I have the energy to go forward and care more, give more, be more, serve more. My eyes open to the oneness of all life, and I fully accept with ease and grace my role as a caretaker. I do this for all who dwell here in the present and for the generations to come. I make a difference. And when you're ready and when you're comfortable, and when you have this new vision of beauty all around you, slowly, gently, peacefully, come back to this environment. You know, a few years, more than a few years ago, two of the conventions from Centers for Spiritual Living were in Vancouver, Canada. And I was in awe of the cleanliness and the beauty of everywhere I went. Even bathrooms in movie theaters, bathrooms in stores, restaurants, the streets, the parking lots. There was not 1 ounce of graffiti, garbage, destruction. That should be us. That can be us. So, just God bless America. Josh?
It was different.
Okay, would you say our, not prayer of protection, would you say our offertory prayer with me, please? The love of God inspires me to give in a spirit of generosity. I give with love and joy to ensure the growth of this ministry and this unity center. And so it is. Thank you, God. Okay, on the back table, we have new Unity magazines, How to Stay Centered No Matter What. And once again, our lovely Jules has bought these for the sanctuary. So thank you, Jules, again for doing that. We just ordered new ones again. I'll be here in a couple of months, so we'll see what happens with that. But that's as a minister, what this signifies to me is the ownership and the love of spiritual community. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. So please pick one up on your way out, and I'll just thank you. Okay, we're signing the covenant for Earth Day, and we're going to keep that somewhere on the wall. And, as a reminder, we sign that, we care. But I don't think in here you need a reminder. I believe that all of you are already at that place. And I just think it's beautiful. I watch the report from the river. So I watch from the river, and some people have very little dogs, little dogs like this. And of course, they poop this big. So I watch from the river, and yesterday, so this big man with this little itty bitty dog, this little itty bitty poop, and so he's looking around to see if he runs around and doesn't pick up the little itty bitty poop. But can you imagine if everybody that had a little dog looked around and didn't see anyone looking and didn't pick up the little poop? This is what I've been talking about today, protect our planet. But I just thought that was funny. The view from the river in New York. So Tibby lives, her condos jet out on the Hudson River. And literally, and she has these big windows. So you're just seeing the Hudson River. So I saw all of the seagulls diving in and getting fish and bringing them up. And Tibby showed me that, do you know that there's a Homeland Security boat that sits out by the Tappan Zee Bridge? I didn't know that. And she showed me that one. And obviously there's another one by the George Washington Bridge. So I feel secure. I thought that was great. I felt very secure about that. And then bald eagle. Oh my God. She's going, look, I don't know what I'm looking at. And she goes, look, and it's a bald eagle. So there were no jumpers, thank God, so I didn't have to witness that. My friend Tibby has seen about 5 jumpers living on the Hudson River from the Tappan Zee Bridge. But so we have 2 river reports today for you. And support us with an Amazon Smile. Okay. Already love Amazon. How about using Amazon Smile to help support Unity Spiritual Center? 5% of your order is automatically donated to Unity Spiritual Center when you select us. Whoa, yay, let's do that. We have a new thing on Great Happenings, which is called Save the Date. And Save the Date, September 11, is Susan Hilton and Dave Pauly have been working on the blessings of the animal. So we'll bring more information to you as it gets closer, but they've done an amazing job together. So wanted to look and get those dates on your calendar. Don't say I didn't know about it. Get them on your calendar now and tell your family, no, I have a church function that day and it's important. And bring them, okay? Okay, Circle of Friends begins again May 15th. Yay, 9:30. And, okay, we're starting to grow again. Can you see, isn't this great? So we need to start setting up the volunteer program. We have Tom and David right now are doing presiding, but we'd like to have 2 females on there too, or another female. So if you'd like to do that, please check in with Jules. And Karen is in charge of downstairs, so she needs 4 coffee hour. Right now, we're only doing 1 coffee hour a month, and that will be a birthday Sunday. But there needs to be a group in the kitchen that makes the coffee and cleans up, and then another group that serves the food and gets all of that food back into the kitchen. And you guys know how to do all that. So we need those to see Carrie, and then we'll get all that information to Jules. We need the greeters. Again, we should be having 1 greeter at the door. So those of you that did that before, please sign up again. And I think that's about it. So we need to get those things. Yes, Tom?
Kind of went past the Treasures Day.
Hidden treasures.
Day. You didn't mention the date.
Oh, right, the Hidden Treasures. Hidden Treasures is June 26th, is that it, Diane? Yeah. June 26th, so we're doing that a little bit different this year. What we're doing, instead of just having everything there and people come grab it, we're putting out, I don't know exactly, it's not my committee, but we're putting out, like, people can pay whatever they want. So if something is worth $100 and they want to pay a quarter, they can. But, so there'll be, and that's, Diane will share more information about that when we get going. Also, the second Sunday in July will be Christmas in July. That will be our grand reopening. And get that on your calendar because we're having the tree up and lights outside, and we're doing a whole big, wonderful, and surprises under the tree, which I won't tell you about right now. So, yeah. Isn't this great? We're not even open yet, and look at what we're doing already. This is because we've stayed so close as a community through this whole year. And I will tell you, you have served your spiritual family so well. You're a blessing. You're definitely a blessing to all of us. So give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand. Okay, and our closing song today is Let's Stand and Sing Let There Be Peace on Earth. Thank you.
I don't think you can.
A peace that was meant to be. Let God return, and we are free. one with each other in perfect harmony. Please begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment, with let us share this peace on earth, and it has begun.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And as we leave here today, we just go out, we look around, and we rejoice at the beauty of our planet, the beauty of Mother Nature, the beauty of the seasons. We keep the commitment to ourselves to protect, serve, endure, and do all that we can to bring out the beautiful, positive energy within each one of us to serve God, to serve our planet, and to serve each other. And for this and for so much more, we are ever grateful. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. It is done. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you all. God bless you. And I will see you all next week.